Hello team, today's challenge is Winter Games Day 11, Ice Hockey, where we are given an array of strings, of all things, we'll talk about that in a second, and we need to parse it for the wins, overtime losses, and losses. We don't really need losses, we'll talk about that in a second too. And we need to calculate the points and then sort it so that we can figure out who the top four are, so that we can return our final sentence, okay, who gets into the semifinals. Feels like a lot of work. It's really not. Let's take it at a piece at a time. So over here, we're going to start with a new function, okay? I feel like this could be used anywhere, so it feels like this should be its own thing, okay? In case we need like a leaderboard or something like that, we have team points, okay? We're going to pass in teams just like we do down below. Excellent. Inside of here, we are going to do some stuff, okay? So we are going to return teams.map, okay? We only need the teams. We don't need index or anything like that, so this gets pretty clean, but here we go. Before I do that, I do like to drop this down because we will be adding a sort after this. We'll talk about that too, okay? Oh, I can't type. There it is. Brilliant. So back to team. Okay, we want to do a couple things. First, we want to break apart that string, okay? In order to do that, we're going to take that team, we're going to split it, and we're going to split it on a regular expression, okay? What is that regular expression? Well, it is semicolon, space, and dash, okay? Or if you really wanted to, you could go semicolon, space, or dash, right? You get to pick. So for me today, I'm just going to pick them all. So here's the semicolon, the space, the dash, and as many as there are. So capturing it all, and that should give us name, wins, and overtime losses. In this case, we don't need to worry about losses, right? Because any losses, as an example, if Canada actually lost one, we multiply that by 0. When we do the addition, right? When we sum it all up, 1 times 0 is 0. 0 plus anything is anything, okay? So skipping that, making it a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to maintain. Again, tests will tell the truth, okay? But here we are. Now that we have this, we can return an object which has our name. We don't need to do anything there, and our points, okay? Our points total, which is wins times 3, not comma, plus overtime wins times 2, plus overtime losses. Could we go overtime losses times 1? Yeah, we could, but anything times 1 is anything. So we can skip that step. Now, important to remember that the split, remember that this is a string, which means that technically all these are. This will work. Okay, if we leave it alone and do nothing else, this calculation will run and get us the number that we want. Okay, because of the times, it will try to force this to be a number, right? And then once this is a number, it'll do the same thing for all these down the line, and it will figure itself out. Okay, if you want to be absolutely sure, which I strongly recommend, okay, force these to numbers right from the get-go. Excellent. Okay. So here it is. We've mapped it over. We've parsed that data, and we've returned an object that we can actually use that contains our actual points. Okay. Now we sort. Okay. That's A and B as a standard. You can name those whatever you want, and we do something. What do? Well, we return points, right? We return B dot points like this minus A dot points. Why B first? Because I want it to be biggest to smallest, right? I want it to be descending order instead of ascending order from smallest to biggest, which means that the B should come first just to keep things clean, okay? At this point, we have this function. We can absolutely use it down here. So const, what are we calling this? I forget. It's points. That feels like a terrible name to me now that I'm thinking about it. Probably should change it. But for now, nothing's coming to mind because I'm more focused on typing than thinking. Anyway, points. We have points, team points. spell it right, just like this, and we pass in teams, okay? And then our string is all the way over here, everything between the double quotes, so copying that. We're gonna grab teams, backticks, and here, okay? This changes, okay? So we're gonna pass in our data. It's going to be what? It's going to be points 0 dot name, right? Dot name, because that's what we have up here, and that's what we care about. Could we have destructured here, right? Maybe we should have destructured here to first, second, third, fourth, right? So doing that really fast, since I have the idea. First, second, third, fourth, spelling it right, fourth, brilliant, and using that right here. So this is first, grabbing all of this, copy, pasting it in. This is fourth, okay, fourth, like this. Right here we have second, and of course third, which makes more sense, actually. I'm glad that I thought about that one. This absolutely works, okay? And we have it, right? We get the teams, again, as strings. We pass it into team points. That does all the math, and it makes sense to me to have this function separately. Because again, you might want a leaderboard, right? And get semifinal matchups is not going to return that for you. So you'd have to do all of this work somewhere else. Why not do it right here, right? That's the whole point. Now, the part that I struggle with is this bit, okay? This bit here, again, why are they passing in strings? I don't know, okay? And I have no way of asking them. Maybe they scraped a website to get this information and it was returned as strings. Maybe the API is just designed that way. I don't know, okay? But it feels very, very limiting to me, okay? So in order to do that, I'm gonna create a new function up here really fast. Okay, I'm gonna call this parse team strings, okay? I'm gonna pass in team strings like this and return team strings dot map. Again, we're gonna get team and we're going to return this split, okay? By doing this, we move that out. And by moving it out, it means that anytime, however that data comes to us, we have a single place where we can fix that. Right now, if the data changes, we need to edit this function. And this function, maybe we change this line and this function breaks. And we spend a lot of time going, what did I do? What did I do? But the change was actually that it's missing a plus or something like that. Like it could be anything, right? So again, breaking it out makes sense to me because it's easier to test. And it's at some point, if we're really lucky, we can just get rid of this function because they will pass in an array of arrays. We pass it straight to teams, not a problem. We do the work. Cleaning this up, that's all we need from that because now we're going to pass in that array of arrays, okay? Where do we get it? Well, we do it down here, okay? This is going to be the data. It's going to be parse team strings, okay? Just like this. Again, hoping at some point that we no longer need this. Obviously, for the challenge today, we always need it. But in professional work, I'm trying to hedge my future bets, trying to make my maintenance cycle easier, right? That data goes right here, and it should still work. It absolutely does, okay? Is there a problem with having this map and this map? I mean, it is two loops. I'm not super happy with that. But at the end of the day, this is going to be easier to maintain than having it all in a single place, and definitely easier to maintain than having all this code in the main thing. Since in real work, in client work, we would be doing more than just getting the semifinal matches, right? There it is. That's the whole code for today. So did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you do it a different way? Let me know in those comments. I definitely like seeing those. Otherwise, today, this has been Winter Games Day 11, Ice Hockey, and I will see you tomorrow.